What's up, guys? My name is Emerson, your favorite manic and melanated photographer.
Hey, this is Alex, or you can call me Peach, your local content creator and fruit enthusiast.
And welcome to the Phot-Bros Podcast. This is your go-to show for advice and experiences for content creators from two local photographers from the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area. We also have our producer Shane and our writer Juliet. Now let's dive right in. Emerson here. Just to give you an idea of who I am and what I do, I started doing photography back in 2018 and recently began diving into videography. So I specialize in fashion portraits. The one quote I live by with my photography is, let your style tell your story.
And this is Peach. My name is Alex, but Peach is a nickname, a whole story to that. But I've been a photographer since 2014, started off with film photography, and I made a jump to digital in 2018, actually. And I also do videography on the side. I do always tell people and always tell myself, always create, never stop creating. And it's very common out there in the creative community. And I dabble with different themes and different photo shoots, including fashion, moody, street, nature, and so on.
So with my photography, the gear of my choice is Canon. There's so many different brands out there that you can use, Nikon, Sony, so many out there, but I choose Canon. And believe it or not, I was using a beginner DSLR most of my photography career until March of 2023. Most people did not even realize that I was using a crop sensor DSLR. My camera of choice was the Canon Rebel T7i, which basically gets me to my next point. Gear is important, but I think the person behind the gear is a lot more important than the gear that you use. As long as you have the knowledge that you have of photography, you can make anything look great. So when I was getting started as a photographer, I was always very self-conscious about my money. These cameras nowadays are so expensive.
Oh, dude, tell me about it.
Dude, for real, nowadays, if there's one thing I will tell anybody who's getting started, go to your local used camera shop and buy a used camera.
Most definitely.
A beginner starter DSLR. I would say you start out with a beginner because, I'm using a Canon R6 right now, and it was like learning a brand new language because it's a pro level camera. I was using a T7i until March of 2023. And going from crop sensor to straight up full frame mirrorless pro level camera, it was insane. But even with the T7i, I got a lot of great pictures out of it. And I was kind of stunned because a lot of people judged me in the beginning for using what they would call cheap gear. And I was always listen, I don't think there's such a thing as cheap gear if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, cheap. If anything, cheap's the way to go. It's just everything that works for your budget. It's efficient. It just does the job. It's always start small. I started with my iPhone, right? Mm-hmm. And even before that, I had my film camera, but that's how I got the experiences for everything.
Exactly. It starts out with your shutter speed, your ISO, your aperture is really important. And the one thing that I did in the beginning, which I kind of laugh at right now, I used to do always the auto mode, the aperture priority and stuff like that. And
those were the days.
Yeah. I was just oh man, these photos are killer. And then I went into manual mode and I was just whoa,
the hell am I doing? How do I
have freedom here? I was just it was so eye opening. So if you're ever getting started, learn manual mode, really customize your photos. Manual mode, you have control over your ISO, your aperture, and your shutter speed, which are the three most important elements as to getting a perfect picture, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. What would you say there was? Like ISO, shutter speed, aperture. And then I guess, what was the other thing? I think it was lighting or
lighting.
Light. Light is you can play around with light all you want, whether it's artificial or natural.
Yes.
The pictures
you actually use a lot of artificial lighting, and I go crazy when I look at your Instagram.
Yeah. Wait, crazy in a good way or bad way?
In a good way, because the colors you use are just like mind blowing.
I do love my colors.
Yeah.
I do love my colors. Yeah. And then when it comes to those artificial light colors, I can always make it. You can make it black and white. You can make it color too, because in black and white it actually looks really good too.
Yeah.
But how much would you say? Like how long did it take you to master manual?
Man, that's a good question. It took about a few months. I mean, shout out to YouTube University. Because I watched so many Peter McKinnon videos and Brandon Wolfel videos in order to learn everything that I learned, which I still incorporate today. Peter McKinnon, first off, because he's a Canon shooter and I use Canon since the beginning. So his videos really like helped out. But I would say it took about 6 months to really master it. But after that, I mean, it was just up from there. And to this day, I'm still learning every day when I go on YouTube and looking at different videos. So I would say nobody's ever perfect. Just keep watching those videos and keep learning every day.
Yep. Hannah Montana said it best, guys. Nobody's perfect. But anyway, so there's so many things out there to understand about photography, all the fundamentals. Now, composition. Now, how would you describe or talk about composition?
The rule of thirds.
Okay, that's one thing. Yes. Yeah. There's rule of thirds is actually maybe one of the most popular, probably the easiest to do, but like there's so many others I just can't point out. Like there's designs, as you see, like on social media, they put these designs out there.
What do you mean designs?
So for example, the rule of thirds is one of them. There's another one where it says, when you take the photo, you shape it in a certain way, like where there's like a twirl. And
that's light painting.
So yeah, you know what? You're right. Rules of thirds, light painting, long exposure.
Would angles be a part of composition?
I like to think so.
There's like the Dutch angle. I love the Dutch angle. Just diagonal.
See, like I know the bird's eye and the worm's eye. Those are two of my favorite ones. Like worm's eye, for example, it's like one of my favorites. Only because, although I think you like to do it too, because you have your this is a little more into detail, but like you have a 16 millimeter lens,
ultra wide. Yep.
Yeah. So ultra wide, you can do a lot with like a worm's eye or bird's eye view. Although worm's eye, in my opinion, actually works so much better with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, composition, so much you can play around with that. Like, because the photos they don't have to be the same thing. For every photographer, they should know. Like, they can get creative with it. They can get like real juicy results from all that.
Oh yeah, big time.
And now lighting, that is a big one. Okay, now
it can make or break your photo.
Yes, they can.
That is the secret.
Yeah,
that's the secret ingredient right there to a good photo. Lighting.
Yeah, like natural light. That's like, it's a good one. Like I do love it. Artificial though, that is more my type. Like we'll go into detail in other episodes, but natural light is one thing. There's studio lights. You have continuous lights. You have gels that go on top of that to create a color. You have other continuous lights you can use, and there's so many brands out there, Neewer and Godox and all that provide all that. But you obviously you have to do your own research for that. But natural light, artificial light, and you can play with light so many ways. And there's harsh light from the sun on a very sunny day. Partly clouded days actually is a bit of a blessing, partly clouded days. Yeah. Yeah.
Because the light is super diffused. Everything's even. When there's something about clouds that just makes a natural light photographer like me very happy. So I've worked with people that are all like, oh, it's cloudy, you want to reschedule? I'm like, no, because when the light is even, that makes the editing process so much easier. There's not many adjustments you need to make. It's just everything is even lighting, diffused, and just beautiful.
Yeah, a lot of good equipment out there. Yeah. And like diffusing, a diffuser is actually one of them, it's actually a big thing you can do inside or outside. But cloud, nature's diffuser, that's a good way to put it.
Yep.
Clouds do that. They do such a great job. Although like not cumulonimbus clouds, those will rain down upon you and then they will destroy your Well, unless you're going for a rainy photo shoot, like that's not going to work out so well. Not just for your camera.
That's on my bucket list, a rain photo shoot.
Yeah, one day.
One day.
Or maybe I'll use like a hose or something to do that.
Oh, that's actually creative right there.
Yeah, like putting it in my notes.
Yep.
Now, another favorite, color. Now, like I said, artificial light is one thing you can do with color. You can play around with it so many ways. But when it comes to the editing process, or even when you're out there shooting the actual picture, obviously you don't want to have it, unless this is what you're going for, like a whole like monotone of color. Like it's always good to make sure, you mix and match everything. Like, for example, like same thing with outfits, you always want to make sure you have a color that contrasts well, or it even combines well, is complementary to each other. For example, you have red and blue. That's one good match. Black and white. You have yellow, or even better, gold and black. Another good combination. Yeah. Like with what I do is like not just for fashion, but also for like photography too. Or like think of all the colors of every NFL sports team or any sports team. They have good color combos, like San Diego Chargers, yellow, light blue.
Oh yeah, that's fire.
Right. Patriots, red, white, and blue, but that's like, America. You have the what color is the Buccaneers?
It's like red and is it red and gold or red and brown?
Okay, well, I personally don't think red and brown's
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not a Buccaneers fan. I'm a Giants fan. So red and blue is go-to for me.
True. But there's also Steelers, black and yellow.
Yeah, that is.
One of my favorite color combos, black and yellow. Like I like, I like bees. I like looking like a bee, but that's just me. Right. But but yeah, colors, but one thing I do, this is different for you, but when it comes to color, you always got to find a good balance, like not just in color combos, but also in the picture itself. Like, well, up to you, but like oversaturated photos, they tend to not look the best when you're at it with the end results, whenever you're editing. I mean, like, do you agree with oversaturated photos? Like, because like there's a lot of color in there.
It all depends, really. With shout outs to Adobe Lightroom for the new AI stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
With me, I'm more of saturating the outfit because I specialize in fashion portraits. So if somebody, I don't know if you saw my preview on my story of the model that was wearing the pink outfit. So when I edited that, I just put a mask over the clothes and I bumped that saturation up to make the clothes pop. But when people oversaturate a whole photo, it puts a strain on your eyes when you're looking at it.
Yeah, that's true. It's
just kind of like, okay, this is too much. It's too powerful.
Like I said before, it's it's all about balance too, because actually that's a good way to put it, in Adobe Lightroom, which we'll go into detail another day.
Yeah.
And it's, bumping up the colors on the subject. That's actually really nice. And then the background can remain dark, or maybe even a duller color, or like kind of dull down a bit, but
put like a radial gradient over it or something. Like
exactly. Yeah. But yeah, that's color. And okay, another one that's really good. Angles. Gotta love angles. So yeah, Emerson, he might have different favorites, but my favorite is bird's eye and worm's eye. Two of my. So if you guys don't know what that is, bird's eye basically is top angle. Like, let's say you have a ladder with you, you climb it, you shoot the model or whatever you're shooting, the subject, from a higher point of view. That's bird's eye. So, you're basically having a higher angle of the subject. Now, lower angle is worm's eye. So you're just basically down there on the ground. Photographers will do a lot of movements and, crouching down, crawling around, or whatever. There's so many movements that photographers are tired at the end of the shoot, but they just worm's eye, they just get down the ground, take a low angle shot, and it just makes the subject look grandiose, bigger. Bigger equals badder, but by badder obviously it's not like bad. It's actually something that's powerful, in my opinion.
Definitely that worm's eye I started using when I got my ultra wide 16 millimeter for my R6, and like, it's really good for like, if you're trying to go for like a Vogue type of look with your model, if you're doing like a high fashion shoot, the worm's eye is the best angle. Another angle I love is the Dutch angle, which is pretty much turning your camera body just a little bit diagonal, just to give a nice little weird, more like, I wouldn't even say if it's weird or just like really it's different than what you would see anywhere else. But it just gives like a different type of vibe to it. So Dutch angle and worm's eye. Worm's eye is probably my favorite because a lot of models that are really self-conscious about their height, and I do that worm's eye, they're like, you just made me look taller and everything. And it's just, and you can get really creative with that. That's why I've been doing a lot of my shoots with my ultra wide only lately. I used my 50 the other day. But lately,
like it's good.
Yeah,
it's good, but
everything's been like my 16 because it's just, I'm just like astonished with the quality lately, with that worm's eye angle.
Yeah, I got to get on that. I got to get that.
Yeah.
Or at least a zoom lens and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe like I don't know, like a 24 to 70 something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, never heard of that Dutch angle though. It's something.
Yeah, it's into. Really, it's pretty dope. You should Google it one day. It's really awesome.
I think there's something else we do have to talk about. Good versus bad photos. Now, I'm not gonna like. There's a lot of photographers out there. Like eventually, as from the day they begin, all the way up to wherever they see themselves as someone who's more professional, someone who's actually gained a lot of experience.
Yeah.
I guess photos will always start as bad up until, I guess, it gets better, but I don't like, okay, there are photos out there that you'll see, like they'll make you go, wow, that's amazing.
Yes.
But then there's other photos that you'll be like, could have been done better, or meh, doesn't really catch my interest. Like, cause I'm pretty, I guess, like maybe what's the word? I have like my own preference of what I like to see. And, when it comes to photos, like photographers in art form, you're going to play around with art so much and you're going to get different results. It's always subjective, but there's a lot of good ways to compose it. Like I said, there's always balance to everything, So so here's one thing. So if you oversaturate the like everything in the photo, I'm sorry, I consider that a bad photo.
Yeah, because you're really not doing anything to it, but just brightening up all the colors, and you're not putting anything into it. The one thing I say is develop your signature editing style, which is what me and you have done. Definitely. Yeah. Like people can look at your photo and not even know, like let's say you're featured on some magazine Instagram, and people will look at that and not even look at like who the photographer is and be like, oh, Peach did that. Same thing with me. They would see my photo and not even have to look at the credits and be like, oh, Emerson did that. So when it comes to like, I think the one thing that that a lot of beginner photographers, one of the things that I tell a lot of beginning photographers is find your signature style.
Always.
Signature style, hands down.
Period.
Because you will start... because you will see the difference in everything, and just that's pretty much all I can really say about that.
Yeah, like every photographer is gonna have their own style, their own like he said, like Emerson said, signature. Like for example, so for like Emerson has mentioned before, I do a lot of artificial lighting. I have all these different. I have a light stick. I have this one light. Continuous light, although I'm trying to get a better one, but they provide different colors, not just white or warmer or cooler colors, but also you have magenta, you have red, you have green, you have blue, and so on. You can play around with it. And
definitely
like if I see one of those on a picture, like Brandon Wolfel's work, for example.
Oh, my favorite photographer of all time.
Yeah, I see that. Like if it's like a night shot, I see that and I'm like, it just, because I'm a very cyberpunk synthwave type of person.
Yeah.
Not just in music, in movies and all that, but also in like, that kind of content. Yeah. I find that a good photo because like, I just like it. Especially with street photography, if you take shots of, like for example, I saw this one picture of someone shot a picture of Rosalind at night.
Oh, that probably was gorgeous.
It was because but he changed the colors of it. Every window was like a pinkish color. And then I'm like, dude, that looks so futuristic.
Oh,
like,
he added that tint into it. Probably.
I know. Yeah. Like, have you ever seen that one anime? What's the name?
I'm not really an anime guy.
Oh,
so I probably wouldn't know.
Okay. Well, Akira, that's it.
Okay. I'm going to have to look that up and watch a few episodes to really get a feel for it.
It's actually a movie.
Oh, it's a movie. Yeah. Okay. That's even better.
but it's one of those movie, like first Japanese, like one of the first few Japanese animes that was became really popular in the US. That kind of like, started out a whole anime trend in the US, I like to say.
Awesome.
But it's a very, it's a movie. It's an anime movie, but it's very influenced by cyberpunk and synthwave, which is my type of vibe. And then you take like in the way they portray the city there, like there's a lot of photographers and videographers out there, and even ones who they create content using, if you ever heard of Blender,
never heard of it.
They just use a lot of 3D modeling and so on to kind of make these little reels or little videos, like, but basically they took scenes of the movie, but that's a good little going off topic. But basically what I'm trying to say is you just bring that kind of aesthetic or that kind of vibe, into that photo. Like that's what I like to see. Cause I like to bump up the lights and the neon colors. And then that's just me. That's my signature, because my signature, technically what I would tell people is moody, because, I like to play around with the colors like that. And it's very night shots, moody or moody risque, because it likes to bring out like a certain feeling that people might like. I personally feel those feelings, which is why I put it out there, because I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to portray it in my work.
Exactly.
And so that's just how I do it. And then there's a whole reason to it, which it's kind of like a little more personal, but basically, that's just it right there. And then like, that's my specialty. I dabble with every type of photography theme out there, but that's my specialty.
Dope.
But that's what I find in good photos. Now with bad photos, like, oversaturated ones, that's what I find as like bad. Like I said, balance. Yeah. Or what else do you see as a bad photo?
A bad, like overexposure, big time.
Yeah.
Like when a photo is overexposed, to be honest, I'd rather a photo be underexposed than overexposed.
It's true.
Like I said, you have to have that knowledge about lighting. It's always about a bad photo with bad lighting or too much lighting is hard. So like when you hear things about, don't shoot at high noon, listen to that, because high noon, like those lights are going to be harsh unless you can find a reflector or you find like a shade under a tree or something. The highlights are going to be blown out behind your model. It's just going to be a very bad photo. What I would say in regards to lighting, make sure you shoot at like in between 3-5 o'clock. With the way the time is right now, golden hour is like at 8 o'clock or something.
Yeah, that's actually a good time. Yeah, because something else you have to consider. Like I, for example, I do love dabbling with golden hour, golden hour and blue hour, which comes a little bit after.
What's blue hour?
Oh, so basically golden hour is like for right now, it's like around 8 o'clock, 8:30. And so when the sun goes down right after that, like you'll see after that, like the sky maybe turn a little bit more pinkish and then blue.
Yeah.
So a little bit after golden hour, that's a blue hour. Basically the sky looks blue enough to kind of take those moody or night shots where there's, like it looks blue in your pictures because, it's like turning night. It's not going to be fully dark.
Yeah.
But there's going to be enough light in there to kind of bring it like a little blue feeling.
That's pretty awesome, man.
It's pretty awesome. But the thing is, like, when it comes to, I guess it depends on the camera or something. Like when I used to have my Nikon D3200, it was the lowest ISO it went to was like obviously high one. But before that was like the lowest it can go to is 6400 ISO, which is something else we'll talk about in another episode. But that made the photo so grainy, and it's good sometimes, but like there are times where I just didn't want to see it.
Yeah.
Like I accept grain for what it is, but I wanted to lower it a bit, but it was like that camera did not do well in low.
And that's why I love my R6, because even at high ISOs, the grain is so minimal. It's incredible.
Yeah. Like that's another thing. So maybe if you have a photo if you ever see any of those photos from back in the day, if they're super grainy, like it's understandable because it was back then, but now you can like personalize your photo the way you want it to. Like, not just in shooting, but also in the editing process. But if it's have you ever seen a photo that's super grainy? It's just so
like a recent photo that like somebody took in this.
I guess in general, because like grainy videos though, like that's one thing, but grainy photos, it's just like, like I'm not gonna say it's just unappealing to me.
I just know nowadays, like a lot of people are spending money on spending crazy amount of money on cameras, and then they go into their editing process and they're adding a ridiculous amount of grain.
Yeah. Like, not saying grain is bad, right? But like,
but sometimes there's a thing that's too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because there's a few options there, because there's grain. And then there's below that they have like the roughness of the grain.
Yeah.
And then I think some people just bump it all the way up.
Yeah.
That's way too much. I mean, I guess it's your own signature, but like,
it's insane sometimes.
Damn.
And I'm just like, do you, bro?
Yeah.
Do you?
Like, I don't like it, but maybe someone else does.
Yeah.
I know, I mean, you do, but
everybody has a different eye for different things.
Yeah.
In the end. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, although overexposed photos, those are pretty.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot more I could dive into, but like good versus bad photos. I mean, you leave it up to your own judgment, but
exactly.
Yeah. But maybe it's your thing that maybe some people might consider that, but it's considered bad, but maybe you might see it as something that's heavenly, you know?
Exactly. There's some photos that I particularly don't like, but then I go out and see that they're getting a ton of attention for that photo. And I'm all like, hey, props to you. Me, I'm personally not a fan, but like everybody has their own artistic opinion on certain things. There's people that see my work and are just like, I'm not feeling this at all. Even though like a lot of people are feeling it. So everybody has their own opinion when it comes to good or bad photos.
True.
Yep.
True. But you know, when it comes to photos in general, you always, like I said, you know, you always got to get out there. You always got to create.
Always.
Like when you get started, always make sure to go out there and literally create, like start shooting, you know, like, it's a whole thing, like a story, but like, at least from my opinion, but like when it comes to shooting, you don't really need a person as a subject at first, you know?
Not at all.
Yeah. And there's always, sorry.
No. I was going to say when I started out, I was just taking pictures of a leaf on a tree.
Yeah, that's usually
Literally.
Because what I did something similar, but it was with different bugs I found in my backyard. Yeah, because I was growing plants outside, and then obviously there would be like some sort of insect there, and then I'm like, you know what, this might be a good profile picture, and then I just took the phone, went up there, shot it, and I mean, they don't think at the time. I think when I shot it, like I don't think the iPhone had portrait mode, and obviously, it was a good picture. Once I edited it, and I'm like, wow, I can. In the iPhone, there's you have the iPhone photo, and then you have the option to edit it. It's not like super detailed as Lightroom, but you can, you can change it. And then like I did that, and that was like my first experience editing. And
interesting,
yeah, and then that's how I got started.
That's
and then,
awesome.
Yeah, because iPhone photography, like the iPhone has come a long way up to this point where like up to like for videos they have like a cinematic mode now. And for photos,
people are making straight up movies with just an iPhone. It's insane now.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the day they put out a movie out there where directed by someone who like just use an iPhone. I
mean, on YouTube you can search like iPhone 13 Pro short film, and there's like a 15-minute film that was just made on a 13 Pro or a 14 Pro, and I'm just like, wow, just technology is going somewhere.
Yeah. Like, I mean, like the simple, like it always starts with like the simplest things, the simplest videos. Like, like I think I did like a bunch of like, this was when I was a kid, I started with making movies on one of those flip phones where the quality was really bad. Yeah. But it started with like me and my sister just grabbing some little stuffed toys and playing around with it. Nice. Making movies out of that. And obviously there was no script. we just did it. Whatever came to my head. I think at one point I even wanted to recreate like one of those Chef Boyardee commercials, like, where the can would like follow the one girl. Like she's like, "Mommy, can I have that can of Chef Boyardee?" And she's like, "No, not tonight." And it'll be like, but I want to. And then, you hear that whistle, but then the can fell and then followed her all the way home.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And then I think I ended up bursting the can open. So, and I was like, you know what? Okay. That was trash. This is trash. It's whatever. I'll move on. Yeah. But yeah, that was like one of the first few experiences. But like I said, see, something as simple and ridiculous as that, it's going to be awkward at first, but like I said, always, you got to start somewhere.
Got to start somewhere always.
Yeah. And like anything and anyone can be your muse. Yeah. Before I got models, it always was like, a fruit. And when I first started my whole Instagram handle name, like I said, there's a whole story to that for another day. I literally just got a natural peach, or a natural fruit or whatever, and just put it on a table and just shot that in different angles. And, you know, played around with the lighting because I think at one point the iPhone was able to do that. Yeah, I even did it with film cameras, but I don't think it was hard to kind of play around with that, but I did the best of my ability to take a good picture. Yeah, because I did iPhone more than the film. Like I did a lot of film, but obviously, you know, it'll take a while for it to process and then get the actual photo back. But but with the iPhone, I could just take it and then just play around with it right there.
Definitely.
Yeah. So that's one of the ways. And then, like, did you do something similar?
I mean, yeah, pretty much.
True. Yeah. I know it did take a while for me to actually get models. It started with me just doing it as a project because I did take a film or photography class in college when I went to shout out George Mason University. Go Patriots.
GMU.
But yeah, that's how I got started. But like basically I just like, you know, I started asking people around campus if they wanted to. And yeah, it's a whole story. But like I got models eventually from there. And then eventually that led to other people who talked about me. And then that led to, yeah, like I think at one point I ended up shooting like a good amount of like of one sorority at the college. And that's how I got started, you know, and then eventually they messaged people and then, you know, they talked about me and then eventually started. That's how I started. And then shot like some of my friends. One of my friends, cause I know two people, like one of my friends, Abel, he's one of my best friends, from college. Shout out to him because he's actually one of the people who actually got me started in digital photography. Showed me
that's what's up.
They showed me the basics. To this day, he always shot an a Sony A6000. To this day, he has I think he still has it, or he has an A7 II actually, just like me. And he does a lot now with, well, maybe not a lot, but like he still dabbles with it. I think he dabbles with nature photography more, but
amazing.
But he does all that. He showed me the ropes too. And another guy, his name is Vijay. He kind of showed me like a little bit more into that. But Abel was one of the first people, and always give credit. I always give credit to him because he's the one who showed me the ropes. Yeah, at first, yeah. But
definitely.
Yeah. So, but that was like a bit of the inspiration for me there. Like, although you probably have a different reason or a different like origin story of how, like, what it like kind of told you, you know what, photography is for me, or, you know,
it had to be just how it helped my mental health in a way. Like for you guys that don't know me, I have bipolar disorder. Basically, when I started off photography, I was in and out of psych wards for years. I mean, most of my high school days were in and out of psych wards. I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And in 2018, I got out of the hospital and they told me to find a new coping mechanism since none of my coping mechanisms were working. And so I went on QVC and bought a Canon T6. And like I said, I started out just shooting a leaf on a tree. And then I got into concert photography, and then I ended up doing portraits. I mean, when I started out, I was just literally just doing nature and landscape. Concerts were cool because I was also a musician back then. So it was easy for me to get like press passes and stuff for local shows and everything. But most of the time it was just a lot of concerts. I think I didn't start getting models until I started going to like meetups at Graffiti Warehouse in Baltimore.
Those are pretty cool.
Yeah, those are still going on actually. Like I'm still getting invites to them, and I'm just kind of like, I might come, might not. But yeah, networking, big time. Networking events was basically how I started getting models, to be honest. Just you have Graffiti Warehouse meetups if you're in the Baltimore area. You have Street Meet DC.
Oh yeah, shout out to Street Meet DC.
Shout out to Street Meet DC.
Portrait Meet,
big time. Shout out to Portrait Meet DC.
Yeah, if you're like in the southern, sort of a little bit below Nova, there's the Virginia Creator Collective. That's another one.
Yeah, shout outs to Lonnie.
Oh yeah, Lonnie. Yeah, she does a good job with that. There's the DC Creator Collective. I don't know who leads that one.
I don't know. Yeah. They used to have meetups. I don't know. Do they still have meetups? I haven't seen anything since 2020.
I think they're very low key. They had one. I don't want to say the word recently, but they had one a while back, like months ago. But
yeah, their like page went kind of inactive for like a couple of years.
Yeah. So Street Me, Portrait Me, the Creator Collectives. Yeah. There's also Street Me DC, and then they just came out with Street Me Maryland
now. Yeah. Yeah. They had their first meetup, I think, a couple of weeks ago in Silver Spring.
Yeah. They shout out to his Instagram handle is the Cherry Berry. I think a Cherry Berry something. Yeah. But he's the one who leads it, because I think he was in collaboration with the original starters of Street Me DC. But I don't know who actually started Street Me as a whole, because like it actually spread out everywhere to all over different parts of the nation.
Yeah, they even have Street Meet Philly now.
Street Meet Philly, Street Meet New Mexico, Street Meet
New Mexico,
Street Meet Oklahoma City.
Oh my gosh,
Street Meet Seattle.
That's insane.
Street Meet Seattle, LA. Street Meet.
Shout outs to Street Meet, whoever, if the creator of Street Meet is listening to our podcast right now. Like,
no, it's amazing. I mean, it's amazing the people you meet, the people like the photographers, the models. And from there, it picks up, you have models and photographers who want to collab with you, models who want to do the same thing.
Exactly.
And then just like it's a lot of networking that, you'll like everywhere you go, you'll meet a lot of, good and people you just don't really click with, and people you do click with,
And that's why meetups are great. So
yeah.
When you're first starting out, meetups are essential. Yeah. To really, especially if you're introverted like I am, or have social anxiety like I do, when it comes to like stuff like that, meetups are, I wouldn't say they're like really good, but I mean, it helps you kind of break out of your shell, because you don't want to go to a meetup and just stand there with your camera and not do anything. It helps you like kind of build up that.
That used to be me, only because of like anxiety, because I'm like, I don't know anyone here. Some people are older, some people and then like it was overwhelming, because it was it's just that like it's good when you go there and meet up people and take good shots. The thing is, it's always about communication, but the thing is, it can be so overwhelming, like because what happens is, like, when you go to street meets, they tend to, like, a whole wave of photographers will be around a model taking the same shot.
Yeah, it's and like 30 of them or something like that.
Yeah, but it's hard to get it says they all pile around, and it's hard to kind of get a good shot, because if I want to get one from a high angle, I guess I can, but I have to climb on something, on a ledge, or on one of those, like road blockers or something, if available, because I think that's what I had to do at one point.
Yeah, and sometimes at meetups, like, there's a lot of photographers that just don't have manners. And so, like, you could be like working with a model one-on-one, and you're trying to get that perfect shot, and then just a dude comes like right in front of you, and you're just like, hello. And so, I mean, the way I see meetups is more of a networking event, because you might get some good photos, but you probably are not don't go there thinking like, okay, I'm going to get fire shots. Go there with the intention of networking. Just be like, let me build up. Let me get my name out there.
That's good advice, because like when I first, like, all my photos were trash from the first meetup I went to. Like, it was all like blurry.
I think I still have some from my first meetup in Graffiti Warehouse on my Google Drive.
Yeah, for me, I'm like, we don't talk about that.
Yeah, but it's very like, dang, I'm glad I've come a long way.
Same. Same. I mean, obviously there's still, even as good as you are or experienced as you are, like, there's always going to be, like, work. You're obviously still some more work to do, like, I don't think, like, it's one thing for me to be professional, but like, I'm not like a professional. Like, I personally don't think I'm like that good yet, but I will get there.
I tell people all the time, don't call me a professional photographer. I'm just an artist out here, just trying to have a good time, just create. Like, if you want to create and you have the passion for creating like I do, we'll be cool. But it's just like, people are all like, you're a pro photographer. I'm all like, no, I mean, yeah.
But true.
Yeah, I feel you.
But yeah, meetups can provide so much, and it's always up to you if you want to experiment with that, but obviously you got to get out there, go to it, and then from there you'll know. But something very important to talk about here: promotion.
Big time. Social media.
Yeah. I mean, as controversial as Instagram is, it's a very good tool. I would say, to kind of start off. Like there's so many social media apps out there. We have Instagram, we have Facebook,
we have Threads,
we have Twitter, X. It's called X now.
Yep.
Okay. X. We have Facebook, Instagram. Well, YouTube.
Would YouTube be considered? Yeah.
Yeah. But those are the big ones. There's others out there, but you know what? There's just not as big. Like, remember Vero?
Man, I had Vero for like a month and then I just stopped using it.
I still have the app, but it's like offloaded. I stopped
same here. It's offloaded. I don't even know if I even got any followers on there. I was kind of depressed.
I think I had like 12 maybe.
Yeah, I didn't know anybody who was really like big on that.
Yeah, but for photographers, considering how Instagram started as a photo app, I mean, now it's more video app according to the
Reels. Yeah,
to the head honcho. But now it's but you can still post photos, really good photos, and videos too. You know, Reels. But with photos, it's but it's a really good way because you know you built your work, your like what makes you. You know, because like not only can you post your own photography work on there, but you can also describe yourself on your stories. And I mean, I assume everyone out there knows what Instagram is and how it works and what stories are, but yeah, basically you can just on your story that lasts for like 24 hours, you can just talk about yourself, ask questions, have people ask you questions. And and then people get to know you like that. Cause like for me personally, like if you look at my profile, you won't see me like personally, like my face, like maybe now and then, but I usually don't put my face up there because I'm like, you know, one, focus on my work, and two, there's a bigger story to that. But basically, so that's why. But that's I still try my best to market myself, you know, without actually putting me on there. You know, because like my person goes through my stories or people I talk about or the DMs and all that, and you know, and then people can judge me from that. And then I just kind of think to themselves, like, you know what, this guy is great to work with. This guy has a good personality. And then, you know, cause you want to be professional about it, but you also, I like to think I like to be a little more fun or funny to kind of bring a good vibe to it. Cause I'm not going to be one of those guys who like has one of those bland voices and then just like, you know, I just go like, okay, now let's do this pose. And then now let's do this. Like,
you never want to be a boring photographer. Ever.
No, you got to bring some spunk, some, you got to spice it up a bit. You got to be like, I don't know. I like to make I like to make everyone I work with laugh, which I think I do a good job at it.
Yeah. I mean, it lightens the mood. And when you can make your model or client laugh, you could just see the difference in like the confidence and the vibes they give off in the photos. Because if you're boring, it's just the vibes aren't going to be there. When the vibes are good, the photos come out fire. When the vibes are just kind of blah, your photos are probably going to come out looking blah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say so. Because like, it just doesn't, like, the energy's there. And I'm like, I kind of feed off of that energy in order to kind of continue. Like, because if we're not vibing at one point or at all, it's just not, well, it just tends not to go well. It's just like, because then I'm like, why am I here?
Yep, exactly.
But
I've wasted my time.
But promotion is big, you know, on Instagram. You can use X too, but like, I guess it depends, like, because people tend to post on there. The thing is, it's just like you can get large in engagement, and there's as much, and like when it comes to certain shoots that are more, I guess, rated R or more spicy,
you get more exposure when you do those type of shoots on X.
Yeah, but if you do it on Instagram, you will get
banned.
Yeah, well, maybe not banned at first, but eventually. But they take down your photos without like. Like they just send you, this doesn't go with our guidelines. I'm like, I understand that, but you know, I do certain types of shoots, and I hope you can grab me the chance to just post it on there. But no, they aren't going to listen.
Yep, and then you go on X, and you're like, whoa, I need to not have this open.
Yeah, people post a lot of stuff on there that are like not just photography stuff that shouldn't even be on there, but they're on there. Yeah,
I'm all like, this has to be illegal. Like,
but and then YouTube is more videos, but but X and Instagram are two big ones. There's also Threads now. Like,
I love Threads.
Yeah, it's like X.
Threads is awesome.
I haven't posted a lot recently, but honestly, maybe I should. Cause like, I feel like I'm comfortable for some reason. I'm more comfortable on there. I think because it's new. Because I'm not well known on Twitter because Twitter's taken over by celebrities and athletes. And
Threads isn't taken over by any celebrities or anything. It's just a bunch of regular people.
Yeah, and considering it's all the people I follow on
exactly.
Instagram, it's all people I know, and they'll see it, and maybe they'll engage with it, maybe they won't. But regardless, I'll post pictures.
And it blew up like overnight. Like literally they had like 20, 30 million users overnight.
I honestly think maybe they lost a few followers because people got bored of it. I think people just wanted to jump on that bandwagon. Just to see for themselves. But because I know I did talk to some people. They talked to some people eventually and they're like, yeah, I'm bored. I'm going to delete it. Or, I'd rather use my memory for something else.
Yeah,
Threads. But when it comes to promotion, always like social media helps. I know sometimes you got to, maybe social media isn't your thing, but it's a good way.
Definitely.
Yeah. Especially when it comes to websites. When you do websites, you can always promote it on there. There's also link trees to various websites you can use, like on your bio, you can post it on there.
Shout outs to OnlyFans.
Yes.
I do not have one. Yeah. Do not worry. We'll talk about that in another episode.
Link trees, they really are helpful because they provide links to all that. Like if you have a Twitch, that's one thing. Because Twitch is actually another way. Because I actually seen photographers who they don't see Twitch is mostly for streaming gaming, right? But
I actually did it for like a couple weeks where I actually like connected, like streamed my editing process and had my face in the corner and just had Lightroom open and people were watching. I had like 30 viewers at one point and they were all like, wow, this is awesome. And
it's interesting to be honest, but like the thing is, I guess it's not for everyone, like not just for people streaming, but also for people who like, because I never done it only because, or maybe I have once, but the thing is, it's just not, because that makes me wonder. I always question myself, do people really want to sit there and see you, edit the art, at a normal pace? Because like when you go on reels, they see fast forwards of people doing it, and then that's like for some reason I guess people find that more entertaining.
I don't know. I mean, my process is pretty quick, but that's because I have set preset already on Lightroom. That's basically my signature style. So I just literally hit the preset and just adjust accordingly, and then I'm on to the next photo and on to the next photo and on to the next.
I have like 10 different presets because they're all 10 different. I guess different themes, different vibes and all that.
Yeah, because I need to get into that. I need to start making some different presets as well.
Yeah, I mean, what I like, I know I made 10 different ones. There's a whole thing to that. I'll explain later another time. But basically, it's like you make 10 different ones, maybe even more. And then from there you can, adjust it to your liking.
Definitely.
But Twitch is another one. There's also, well, I mean, there's probably a lot more, but those are probably the big ones. Yeah. But you got to get started on social media if you want to promote yourself, get yourself out there. And then websites is another good thing, like Pixieset, for example.
I use Pixieset.
So do I.
Pixieset.
It helps me with my clients, like the galleries are there.
I created my website with Pixieset, so.
Oh, yeah. I sort of did that. I should get on that.
Yeah, you should. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah. Another good way to do this, and it's probably this goes back all the way to probably since the 60s, I'd like to say, maybe even further. Business cards, that's a big one. Business cards.
Man, I haven't gotten business cards since pre-pandemic.
I once ordered like 20 of them, and then quarantine happened.
I have this thing now. I have a Popple wristband that I wear, and people just tap their phones on it and my Instagram comes up immediately. Gotta
love technology.
It's crazy. This new era.
No, I have something similar. Oh, it's not a band on my wrist, but it's mostly like, this is one app. I believe it's called, I think it's called Hi Hello or something.
Yeah, there's a lot of these new, just where you just tap your phone and they get all your information.
Well, it's more like, it's called Hi Hello. See, but it's mostly like it's an app, and then it just puts the QR code there. You scan it with your phone, with your photo app, and then it just pops up to, I guess, the link to not like a website in a way, I guess, or maybe to the app or whatever, or maybe it is a website, but it just shows you your phone number, your who you are, your like, it's like a link tree basically, but that's your business card right there.
Yep.
But it's a very basic basic, but still it's a business card.
Yeah.
But obviously I do like to have like a good physical copy, like maybe handy on me, maybe like 5 copies in my pocket at one point.
Yeah.
It's just
I might have to go on Fiverr and get some business cards designed. Shout outs to Fiverr.com.
Yeah. Fiverr. Yeah. But they do help. Yeah. It's, they're really helpful. I mean, the thing is there's other websites. Maybe Fiverr's really good at it, or maybe other websites are, but you can customize it to your liking too. Cause I saw this one guy at a casting call once. I don't remember what his photography name was, but his business card was actually like pictured like a rectangle, right? But instead his business card was vertically printed, right?
Oh,
like on one side was horizontal, like his logo, and then it was the other side was vertical. Oh, like his information or whatever, and Instagram handles or all that and whatnot. But and the corners of the card was actually rounded.
Nice. Yeah.
And it was actually a good solid color. It wasn't even, I don't even think it was matte. It was probably glossy, but that itself, that kind of inspired me. You know what? I want a business card like that. I even seen people with business cards that were like literally shaped like just like a circle. That's their business. Wow. Yeah. No, and I'm like, that's one way to get someone's attention.
Definitely.
Yeah. A great way to promote us too. Cause maybe that was a message. Maybe a lot of people, it tells people he's very well-rounded or something like that. But, or maybe he just likes circles. I don't know. But I like to get creative. I would like to get creative with my business cards. Kind of, it just shows people, I guess, like it's better than the regular business card you get from a lawyer, I guess. Because like they just give you like, you know, plain white ones that say their name on it.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah.
And I'm like, you're like, oh, thanks.
With the law firm right there in the center. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not someone who wants to give cards out and then they're like, people are like, oh,
yeah,
cool.
I just don't know if like now this post-pandemic era, if people are even giving out business cards anymore.
You never know, they might. Because like I like to have a creative card, give people, and then instead of oh cool, I like people to just look at it and be like, wow, nice, okay, I'll definitely hit you up. And it's a creative card. I imagine it would stick out in their piles of cards or papers at home or something. Like God forbid it falls down into that little edge on their couch or like that little like, and you have to dig it up somewhere. But you know, but I like to think it's very like technology helps with business cards too. But like, you know, like the QR code I mentioned, but business cards, they can go a long way too.
Definitely.
Yeah. Always promote your work or promote yourself too, you know, especially.
Definitely.
Moving on from that, as photographers and videographers, even models, we all have stories. Oh, right. We have experiences that really like some of them are good, but some of them are pretty bad.
I mean, I wouldn't even say some of them. Yes. And some of them are pretty funny in a way.
Well, now that I think about it, yeah. I mean, I like to think that certain story, like I'm a storyteller guy, like not just like when it comes to parties or events or even through my work, but I like to tell stories. And then like, if they're horror stories, I kind of see them as funny, you know, and it's good to just tell them. And then people like, it can make people laugh. It can make people like go, oh, wow. And it's always will teach you a good lesson and you can learn from that mistake. Yeah. But any mini stories you got or many ones that you come to mind?
I mean, there was a time when I did a shoot for a friend and this is back when I was like using an external flash and everything. I got everything set up and I was ready to go. And I was all like, okay, you ready? And she's like, yeah. I click my camera on. It says no carding camera.
Oh my God.
So mind you, I drove like over an hour to get to this girl's house. So I was just like, oh crap, I forgot my SD cards. So I went on Google Maps. I was all like, okay, where is the nearest CVS or Best Buy or somewhere with SD cards? Saw there was one like 10 minutes away. So I was just like, okay, let me get in my car. Let's go get these SD cards. I go get the SD cards. I get back in my car. And as I'm driving back, I go through this construction zone and I'm driving through it. And all of a sudden my car gets rocky and I'm all like, what in the world's going on? My tire sensor lights up. I get out of my car and 3 of my tires have blown out.
Bro.
And I'm just like,
my heart literally stopped right now for like a millisecond.
This day get any worse? I was like, dang it. So I ended up getting my car towed over to my friend's house. It was the craziest thing. I called roadside assistance, and it was like this roadside assistance that also like does tire replacement. So I called them up. Called them up. I was like, hey, I'm here. Can you guys come out and do this? They're like, yeah, we'll be there in like 45 minutes. So I went inside, got the shoot done, came back outside, had new tires on my car, and we went about my day. But like, just that whole situation was just...
That sounds crazy.
I know. I would, crazy.
At one point, I feel like I would, if that happened to me, I would have been like on the road, just sitting in my chair in my car, just looking up at the ceiling of my car, like, it's okay. Everything's going to be okay.
But yeah, the photos came out great. So,
well, I'm glad it did.
That's all that matters to me. But just, it was an interesting day, a very interesting day.
I don't know. That's a good story to tell one day. I mean, like you're telling it now. Yeah. It's actually pretty.
And this was like 6-7 months into me doing photography. So this was back in 2018. So yeah.
Oh my God.
2018, 2019.
I mean, I don't think anything like that happened to me so far. Like that specifically. But I mean, I did have some camera trouble before. Like, oh my God. Okay. So, I did, when I was shooting at George Mason University, like I said before, I met some models there, or I guess technically they weren't models, but they were my models. Like, and I met them. They were friends of my friend who was in a sorority. And, we decided to do a purge photo shoot. So it was like involving the,
oh, wow.
Yeah. So basically, I did all that. I brought the props, I got the mask, decorated it, inspired by the movie. And one of the models had like a mask that glowed, like with the lights and all that.
Oh,
like
nice.
Purge type. And it was all going well. And I even borrowed some equipment, like that helped as weapons, So one of them had a chain, and then the other one had like a wooden bat or something. Oh, wow. And then we decided to go to there's a garage near George Mason University that's like I think it's also like a train station, but the garage
I know that. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. It's like people park there, but people don't really, it's kind of low key abandoned where people like kind of do anything they want. And we went to the top roof, and then it was pretty empty. So we were nice because I had little smoke bombs we were going to use.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I had my flash, this and that, and this is still me trying to learn flash, getting used to it. And the thing was like the two models, Steph and Kylie, like considering they were sorority sisters, they had really good chemistry. Now, the problem was that it was probably 30-40 degree weather.
Oh no.
And in addition to that, it was also windy that night that I didn't even pay attention. Okay. So when you parking garages at the top, like, how they have the parking garage where you can park, and then they have the, if you're at the top, they have stairs and elevators, and then it's sort of an inside area where there's no wind, and but there's at least lights there to help. And then, and we actually got some really good horror looking shots. Problem was that when we started to shoot outside, because that's where we could, use a flash and then you be outside and use the smoke bombs. Yeah. It worked out well. For one thing, one of the smoke bombs did not light. Uh-oh. Yeah. The first one lit. The other one, I tried my best, but it couldn't. And then, so that was a failure. Oh, like I guess it could have lit, but the string attached to it, it kind of like just popped off, and I couldn't really light it. No. Yeah. And so that sucked. I ended up throwing it away. Yeah. Although I don't even know where I got it. I probably got it from AliExpress or something, but yeah. So it wasn't the best in my opinion. Yeah. But at least I got the first smoke bomb. Now, the worst thing that happened on that night was like, I forgot. I did not know the wind was going to be that bad, or maybe I wasn't paying attention. Maybe I was too excited for the shoot. We started shooting, and then my camera was on a tripod.
Oh no!
I know you can imagine what happens next. So, and then I had to, and the smoke bomb thing didn't light, and I tried to light it, and then the wind blew the tripod down with the camera on it.
Oh my God.
The lens cracked. My beautiful 35 millimeter lens cracked.
Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my God.
To this day, it's still cracked, but.
Oh, you still have it?
Well, it's for my Nikon. It was for my Nikon.
Oh, okay.
Now, considering I moved on to a mirrorless Sony A7 II, but like if I ever use a Nikon again, I would still use it. Like it's still cracked. The only problem.
Should get that repaired, man.
It costs a lot.
Yeah, no.
I mean, the only reason I didn't replace it or get it fixed is because the lens might be cracked at one corner. Because it landed on a certain angle, the one corner of the lens is actually it's cracked, right? It's spreading a bit. But like if I were to shoot in sunny weather or any other light would hit it at a certain angle, it actually creates glares.
Oh,
or flares, if anything, like kind of like it's really nice.
Nice.
Sometimes it doesn't work. It actually creates it's so bright sometimes where if it hits at a certain angle where it kind of makes the photo look really bad or too highlighted at one angle. And it's just, for me, it's like, I'm not about that. Now, but in some situations, like if it hits the light hits at a certain angle at the right time, then it's beautiful. So
definitely.
But it still works, you know, like it's not really going to show anything on it. But the fact that I heard that crack, like that was the end of that shoot for that day. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, that's I would have cried. I would have cried.
It's the worst. I mean, like I didn't know that was going to happen.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Like my heart stopped.
That's a story.
Yeah. For memory cards, I try my best not to forget them though. Like, and same thing for batteries. I always my Nikon only had one battery and I had to charge it every single time. I didn't have a backup. I
think when I first met you, you like had like 4 batteries on you or something like that. You were like, it was like we met at like one of our little like social groups meetups. And you were all like, oh, I got extra batteries in my bag. You were like switching batteries like crazy.
Oh, yeah. That was probably the
Mosaic.
Yeah. 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 For those who don't know, Mosaic District, it's a beautiful place in Falls Church, Virginia, I believe. Fairfax, Virginia.
Yeah. And they kicked us out.
Yeah, we were in a parking garage. That was that
was a weird end to and they kept following us all around Mosaic after kicking us out, and so we just ended up going to
did they do
Silver
that?
Diner.
Maybe I wasn't paying attention. They kicked us out, but they never actually followed us.
Yeah, they kept following us, and we ended up ending it there and just went to Silver Diner.
Strange danger. Oh my god.
Yeah,
but that sucks.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate, but. Yeah, but I did have a lot of batteries. I had like 4?
Yeah, 3? you had a decent amount of batteries. I was just like, I've never met a photographer that has that many batteries. I have 2.
I like to be prepared. I mean, sometimes you can get off-brand ones.
Yeah,
like I mean, it's not like you know what you see on Instagram. It's like not gonna
shout outs to Amazon.
Yeah, it's not like it's gonna make your camera explode or something.
Yeah,
people are exaggerating on that, but I do understand why they would say that because I have one that's specifically for that Sony.
Yeah,
the other 2 are like some other brand, but they work. They fit in, and it's nice. They don't increase in thickness or anything because of some issue, but
because Canon, like getting like an actual second Canon battery is like $60-$70 when I can get like an off brand for like $20. I just ended up getting an off brand extra battery.
Yeah, I actually recently got a Sony RX 100 Mark IV. It's like strictly for vlogging, I guess, but I'm using it strictly for video, shoots in 4K. So the owner said he had 2 batteries. He lost both. But when he sent it to me, Ricky compensated for that, and he sent 7 batteries. 2 of them are Sony. Yeah, 2 of them are Sony, and the other 5 are something called Wasabi Power. But they fit in there. I think they last for a good while. But
nice.
Yeah, but like the fact that it's 7 batteries, like it's actually not bad. I kind of like that. I kind of like that. So always be prepared with that.
That's what's up.
Yeah. Now, did you have any embarrassing situations with anyone? Or shoots, or maybe?
We will save that for another episode.
All right. What he said. Yeah. Because I can understand why there's a lot of big story. There's a lot of stories that we have on that, I guess.
And we're running low on time. So we're going to save that for another episode.
Yeah. Because we have a lot of stuff we can talk about for the future. But, this is a pilot. So, but there's so much. So this is like, like we said, this is episode 1. So much stuff we talked about right now, like as an intro.
Oh, definitely.
So many stuff we can talk about. Like obviously next episode, we'll dive deep into our origin story. But this is like the beginning of something new. It just, it feels so right, man.
Yeah, this is awesome. And the funny part is this actually started out as a joke.
It did. I didn't even know about that until like a few minutes ago. Actually.
Yeah. So my friend Chelsea, shout outs to Chelsea.
Yeah. She is a close friend of mine, an excellent model.
Yeah. Follow her on Instagram.
What is her Instagram?
Chelsea is Chelsea.robles, Chelsea with a Y.
Yeah. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, what did you say her last name was?
It's Robles. Is that how? Is that how you? Oh, that's not how you say it.
That's not, okay.
Is it Robles?
Yes. Okay. So, I'm bringing
so sorry.
I'm bringing in the Latino in me. Okay. So it's Robles.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. My grandfather is going to be
I know. I like, as a joke, maybe I said Chelsea Robles or Robles.
Yeah. Well, that's their Instagram handle.
Yeah. But what about her?
But yeah, so she messaged me one day. It was actually like a month or two ago. She was just like, hey, you should totally start a podcast. I like your voice. And I was just like, I've heard that for a while. And
she actually used the word totally.
No, she didn't use it. I just added that for.
Okay. Because it sounds like her. She's like, you should totally.
Oh my gosh. Man.
Anyway. Yeah. But
this is what she said verbatim. I can see you doing a podcast. And I was just like, I've heard that for like so many years and I don't know. And so I talked to our now writer, Juliet, about it. And she was just like, that's a great idea. And then she hit up our producer, Shane. And Shane said, I have the equipment for it. You guys want to do it? And I was just like, oh, this is really happening. And here we are doing our first episode.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I don't honestly, how would you feel if you did this podcast alone?
Overwhelmed.
Yeah. So this is why then they reached out to me, Alex or Peach. That is my name and nickname. But yeah, I was asked to jump on. Honestly, I was like, I didn't know how far we would get. But to be honest, I'm like all down. I have all the determination. Yeah. I guess I have that radio personality I can bring a little pizzazz to this whole podcast. And I jumped right in. I'm just like, okay, let's see how this goes.
Yeah.
And here I am. I like to think me and Emerson had great chemistry.
We definitely do, bro.
And and then we have our producer Shane here, who he has the equipment, he knows the know-how, and he knows what to do.
Yep.
Juliet, same.
And we're also going to have some guests here, some models from the area, and also some other photographers as well, talking about their experiences.
We have a whole list, but
we have a very long list of guests in.
Yeah, but obviously it all depends on the topic too. But
yes, definitely.
Oh man, the beginning, but it's going to be fun. But this has been great. First episode. So definitely. Shout out to Shane, our producer. Shout out to Juliet for writing the script. Shout out to Emerson.
Shout out to you, Alex.
Yeah.
And feel free to follow us on Instagram. My Instagram handle is Son of Sanchez Photos. And my man, Alex, a.k.a. Peach, has a longer Instagram handle. So
it's Peach_magenta_photo. Yeah. So feel free to follow me there. And that's all the time we got. But keep an eye out for our next episode. We're going to dive a little deeper into this whole thing.
Thank you for listening to the Phot-Bros Podcast. Feel free to follow us on Instagram at Phot-Bros Podcast and follow us on X/Twitter at Phot-Bros.